Hi, everybody, and sorry if the title is a little weird. I've had an existential crisis that I'm working my way through now. There's nothing terrible about it. It's just some very abstract stuff. You could really just boil it down to the world not being as good a place as I had believed it to be, and the nature of virtue not being as meritorious as I might have hoped. So, like I said, I'm sort of bootstrapping some new ideas to replace old ones that are ripe to have fallen by the wayside. So, what I wanted to talk about today, for this kind of circumspect way of getting toward a thing in multiple parts, is that Inc. magazine and Wired magazine and maybe some other publications all have kind of come out with the fact that tabletop role-playing games like the old Dungeons and Dragons and lots of others are now being used as therapeutic tools by psychologists or psychiatrists, what have you. The point being that there is a value to these tools to help one understand the world, become mentally healthier, and explore different personal and social issues in the world in a safe environment, in a sandbox where you can jam these things together in various ways conceptually and then take away the results without having to suffer the engagements in real life to gain the experience. Anyway, the whole realization that these are therapeutic tools seems to me a foregone conclusion. I sort of knew that without being able to express it when I was a kid, because those things helped me understand what the world was like and how I should conduct myself within it. It was important to me. And yet at the same time, I grew up in the 1980s in the midst of the Satanic Panic, and there were parents whose kids were not allowed to associate with me in the sorts of games that I would play with those other folks whose parents were okay with it, because of the evils that we would, I guess, perpetrate by going through these rituals. Anyway, I would like to read briefly from one book just to give you an idea of what one of these things is like. It's a little independent game. It's actually more of a showpiece than it is something that I've been able to play in the past. It's a storytelling game where you have 4 people who participate through certain keywords to tell a story about a protagonist, a series of protagonists that will try to be virtuous and do right and be good. They face all sorts of evils and corruption. They will ultimately fail and come to a tragic end. And it's the nature and structure of the story that your hero tries to do everything that is virtuous and right, but ultimately an evil and corrupt world brings them to this tragic end. So anyway, in case you're interested, it's called Polaris, and it's chivalric tragedy at the utmost north. Yes, I can pronounce things. And the one section I wanted to read is the way that each one of these games starts, that gives you just a taste of the flavor. That when the people sit down and they start telling the story collaboratively of their protagonist, they start with, "Long ago, the people were dying at the end of the world. But hope was not yet lost, for," and then you insert the name of your protagonist, "still heard the song of the stars." And then from there, you go into this negotiating process of the storytelling of what the protagonist does, the challenges that are faced, and then negotiate how the challenges are resolved through different kind of storytelling tools, and then move on to the next protagonist in the next scenario. And again, leading to its ultimate downfall of the protagonists facing a world of corruption and evil. This was the sort of thing that parents were seeking to protect their children from. The idea of telling a story, in this case, of virtue and goodness facing off for the sake of what virtuousness is for, doing things that are right for the sake of doing right. If those things are never seen or appreciated by the world, if it's ultimately doomed to failure, still doing the right thing. Anyway, that's my little parable for today. I will go on to more next time. Like I said, I am moving toward a thing. Sorry for this odd start to the series, but I hope it lays some groundwork for wherever it is I'm going next. Bye for now.